Why am I nervous? Why am I nervous? I'm literally talking to myself. My name is Kara. I am 21 years old. I am a Cancer Sun, Capricorn Moon, Scorpio rising. This year I graduated from college and decided to stay in my college town and work in the public library here. And I manage my department in the library now. I just got a new pair of glasses, so I officially look the part. And I love books, and I think that's why we're all here. This is so much harder than it looks. Like, every time I sit down and film a video, which has been many times, even though this is the first one seeing the light of day, okay? Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Every time I have done this, I just get completely sidetracked. And yes, that is who I am. That's my personality. That is the ways of the ADHD adult woman. But here's the thing. I am finally taking this step forward to bring my YouTube channel to fruition. And if this video is a little bit wacky, hey, that's okay. So what we're here to do today is the Booktube Newbie Tag. Now, I wasn't tagged to do this, but I figured it would be appropriate as my first video on YouTube to do the Booktube Newbie Tag. Without further ado, we've been doing for several minutes now. So without much more of it, let's get to the first question. So question number one, why did you start this channel? I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. And now that I am beginning to fully realize who I am and what I want to do with my life, YouTube has always kind of been a big part of that. So I'm learning how to just say yes and try new things. And this is me doing that. And I've always loved to read, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. I've always been inspired to start my own channel by other people that I watch, and it's changed over the years. It started out as makeup, and then it was cooking, and then it was The Sims 4. And then it was books, Booktube, and so here I am. Question number two, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? I work at a library. I'm not a librarian yet. Librarians are people who get a master's degree to have that job, and I don't have a master's. I just got my bachelor's in May. But it is something I'm considering. But I love working at the library. I love what I do there. I love my job. I love the people I work with. And most of all, I love being around books all day. I love making lists about books. I love reading books. I love talking about books. I love recommending books. And so what better place to do that than YouTube and the library? Why not both? I know there are several other library workers and librarians who have YouTube channels, but you know, it doesn't necessarily make me unique, but what certainly does make me unique is my voice and my personality and my opinion about books. I want to bring awareness to what libraries do. I want to bring awareness to what we offer. I think it could really grow my platform, and some of the things that I do at work, I would love to carry over in making videos. And I also just want to grow as a creator because I've always kind of liked making YouTube videos and being creative in that way. And I think this is my time to grow my skills as a content creator and find my own style. So I don't know exactly what's going to make me unique yet, but all of those things together certainly will set me apart from, you know, everybody else who's making videos, because we're all different, and that's the beauty of it. Question number three, what am I most excited for about this new channel? I am excited. Yes. I'm excited about all of it. I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to see what kind of content I can make and reach the potential that I know I have. I'm mostly excited to foster my own community and be a part of the bigger bookish community on YouTube. And I'm thinking about starting an Instagram too, but I mean, I'm not going to overthink it too much. I'm putting myself out there, and I really just have loved the online book community from a distance for a long time, and I'm ready to be a part of it. So that's what I'm most excited about, is building my platform and getting to be a part of something bigger. And sharing my love of books with other people who love the same things that I do. Question number 4, why do I love reading? I love reading for a lot of different reasons. I just grew up, I don't know what it's like to not love to read. I love it because it takes me outside of myself, and it takes me out of my comfort zone in some ways and keeps me in my comfort zone enough to let me thrive. I don't know really how to explain that. It's kind of a paradox, I guess, I don't know. But it's always been a safe place for me to explore. And I love to learn new things. I love to learn about new worlds, take on new challenges, and change my perspective about things. It's just part of who I am. I mean, there's not much more to say about it. When you're a reader, you're a reader. And anybody can be a reader. My earliest memories of like loving reading and loving books and everything associated with it is going to the library when I was a kid. My mom reading to my siblings and I, and that's part of why I love working in the library, and that's part of why I've always loved reading. And yeah, I mean, maybe one day I will be able to articulate why I love reading more than I can now, but yeah, I think you can tell that I have a passion for it, and so that's what matters. Question number 5, what book or series got you into reading? So I think I find this question interesting because a lot of people on YouTube that I've seen do this video kind of have the same answers to it. And here I am, just adding my name into the hat. I've been reading since I was very young, so I don't remember like the first books I ever read, obviously. I remember a lot of the books my mom read to my siblings and I when we were super young. She read a lot of books to us all the time. Books like Ginger Pie and Red Sails to Capri, and just like children's books that are magical to listen to somebody read to you. I know like the first books that I read on my own when I was old enough to actually read like a chapter book were, you know, Harry Potter, Rick Riordan. I love the Kane Chronicles and Percy Jackson, like all of his stuff. All of Rick Riordan's books that existed when I was a child. I haven't read some of his newer stuff, but I'm definitely open to it because I have such fond memories of reading Rick Riordan books. The Kingdom Keepers, which was like a Disney Hyperion imprinted, I don't remember who it was by, Ridley Pearson, I think. They look like, if you know what I'm talking about, you are an OG. What else? I really liked fantasy when I was a kid, like adventurous fantasy types of books. I loved Egyptian mythology types of books, like the Kane Chronicles, and there were a couple other ones that I don't remember. They're about like an archaeologist's daughter or something. Oh, and there's another, oh my god, Children of the Lamp. I remember really loving that book too. And when I got a little bit older, I loved The Hunger Games, Twilight, the classic YA that we know and love today. And I also read a lot of Wattpad. Oh man, those were the days. I cannot remember any of the books that I read on Wattpad though. I don't have that account anymore, and so I can't remember for the life of me. But I definitely remember like some of the things that I read. I just can't remember the titles of them, and it's killing me inside. Some of the books that got me back into reading as an adult a few years ago were Gone Girl, Madeline Miller's books, especially Circe. That one is my favorite. That's my favorite one. I know some people are gonna come at me for that, but I also really like Liane Moriarty. My mom got me into her books. She writes more like family drama, mystery thriller type of things, but I really like her writing personally, and it just has, I think I have a personal connection to her stuff because I grew up reading her. And then my favorite books from high school that I read in high school that I remember were The Handmaid's Tale, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Those are two of my all-time favorite books. And I also remember loving John Green and Celeste Ng. Those are some of a few of my favorites. Stick around for more. But those are definitely books that made me excited to read. And when I think back on them, they have a special place in my heart. Question number 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? So I have 3 questions. Number 1, how do you balance YouTubing, reading, and life and still make content regularly? I have, like I said, I've tried to make YouTube videos before. Vlogging is especially hard for me because it's like my thoughts are just so all over the place, and I'm not inconsistent with reading, but I don't read like a lot every single day, depending on how busy my life is. And so I've always kind of struggled with just like incorporating filming into my daily routine and staying consistent with it. So I mean, I'm sure I will figure that out along the way, but if I had to ask my favorite booktubers, definitely that would be one of them. Question number 2, do you have reservations about being online? And this is kind of controversial, okay, because this is me putting myself online, but I'm not like a person that is really social media heavy. I use Instagram a lot, but I don't post a lot. And so I know that going into this lifestyle of being a content creator, I am gonna have to post a lot more than I'm used to. And so I do kind of have reservations about like putting my life publicly online. But again, I know that I'll kind of like get used to that and learn my boundaries with it. But I wonder every now and then about some of the booktubers that I see online all the time, and I know it causes a lot of anxiety and other things. If my favorite booktubers are watching this, first of all, I'm gonna go like scream. Second of all, I'm always here for anyone in the community who wants to talk about maybe some of the pressures of that. I want to be as open as possible as I can about my mental health and what's bothering me and what's going on with me, because that, you know, I'm a huge proponent for destigmatizing mental health and things that maybe aren't as talked about online. My last question is, can we be friends? You know, hit me up. I do want to quickly mention some of my favorite booktubers. I have more than this, but these are the people that I've been watching create content recently and who have really inspired me to create my own channel. Sid Bookworm, Books and Lala, the Roomies Digest. I really like Newly Nova, with Cindy, Heather McLary, Carrie Can Read, and Noelle Gallagher, just to name a few. Question number 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I kind of mentioned this earlier, but just balancing content creation with my life and my full-time job at the library. I work for close to 40 hours a week at the library, so you know, that comes first, obviously. And I also really want to stick to my goals. I want to be consistent, and I don't want to bite off more than I can chew because I'm very prone to do that. So this is something that I've been really wanting to do for a long time, and so I'm kind of approaching it with the idea that I owe it to myself to do this for myself, and we're gonna see where it goes. Question number 8 is, when did I start reading? I got back into reading as an adult in 2021, like reading more regularly. I think I didn't read very many books that year, but in 2022, I read 70 books. And this year, I've already read 90. It's December 1st when I'm filming this, so I mean, fingers crossed we can make it to 100. But I have faith in myself. So anyway, yeah, I've gone back into reading in the past couple years, and I read way more than the average person now. Question number 9. Where do I read? I read pretty much anywhere I can. I can't read in the car when, like, I get motion sickness. So I bring my books with me everywhere. And usually I just end up reading in my bed or on my boyfriend's couch at his house. And I also read a lot on my breaks at work because, you know, I bring my books with me everywhere, and I work in a library, so I bring a lot of books home with me too. And one of my biggest problems that we will surely be seeing soon is that I cannot read one singular book at once. I have to have multiple books in progress at the same time. It's a problem. And actually in 2024, I would really love to break that habit. So, but that's another video. I used to have a back deck at my old house, and we had an Eno out there, and I would read out there, and I miss that so much because I love to read outside. But right now it is mostly just wherever I can be cozy. The only caveat to the car thing is I listen to a lot of audiobooks, so whenever I'm driving, not just driving, I listen to audiobooks anywhere. I really like to play Happy Color on my iPad and listen to audiobooks while I do that. It's so relaxing. Question number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? Well, so glad you asked. So I would label myself as eclectic in multiple senses of the word, but mostly an eclectic reader. I read pretty much everything. I like to branch out when I can. This year, I've tried out a lot of different things. I've read more nonfiction, which is great because I actually found I really like reading nonfiction. I've read a few graphic novels. I even read an Omegaverse book this year. I didn't finish it, so it's not counting as actually read. But yes, I read pretty much everything. We'll probably talk about this in my 2023 wrap-up whenever that happens. My favorites are usually contemporary literary fiction. I like fantasy when I'm in the mood for it. I also like what Books and Lala likes to call weird fiction. I deeply resonate with her proclivity for weird fiction. I am the same way. I am becoming more of a romance reader this year as well as nonfiction. I've read more romance and nonfiction than I did last year, which is great. I love a good short story collection. I love a good essay collection. My favorite subgenres, which you might like to know, are I love any mythology retelling, especially Greek. It just hits different. I love books that are about or set in France. I love anything witchy. I like found family. I like 20-something coming of age. Lit fic is totally my jam. And I also really like when the characters have like unique traits or there's a unique plot going on. And some examples I can think of this are like Allie Hazelwood romances or like Remarkably Bright Creatures. I love branching out, and there's definitely a lot of things that I want to try in 2024 that I maybe previously wouldn't have in 2023. I feel like I'm just constantly evolving in my tastes, and I'm a huge mood reader. Like right now I really want to read like romances right now for some reason, like cozy books, holiday romance. Like I'm in a Hallmark movie phase right now. But I know in a couple months I'm going to be wanting to read fantasy, and then when it gets into the summertime I'm going to be wanting to read lit fic, and then in the fall time I like to read horror. So it's just, you know, all over the place, and we'll see what 2024 has to bring. Last question, number 11. What does my book collection look like? And you might be wondering, what is that behind you, Kara? Can't really see it because your big ass head's in the way. I have quite a few books. I have a lot of these are actually borrowed from my sister, or just books that I've owned for a long time, like these two Leanne Moriarty books. All of these here are books that from the library or that I've bought this year, except The Maidens. And I also have a shelf in my living room. Most of my books come from the library, or Libby or Hoopla or Everand. I do buy books. I like to buy books, especially paperbacks. Paperbacks are my favorite. I do donate a lot of the books that I finish that I don't really necessarily need to keep. And then the rest of the books that I read come from like Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, just wherever I can get my hands on them, really. So this is what I'm reading right now, Rouge by Mona Awad. It's taken me kind of a long time to, it's not that I'm not into it. I don't know. Yeah. These are some books that I got from the library for the Reindeer Readathon Challenge. Stay tuned for that one. I don't think I'm gonna give an in-depth book tour right now because that can totally be another video if you are interested in seeing it. But I have some on my cart here. And then on my shelves, both of these shelves are books that I need to read in 2024 that I've bought in 2022 and need to read. These are some of my favorite ones. I have a few books. You can't see the shelf that's up there, but there's a few books up there that I haven't read yet. And then the rest of them that I have in my house are in my living room. And then of course we have a massive collection at the library that I can pick from at any time, which is awesome. So yeah, that's it. That's the video. I am really excited to edit this because there were a couple of moments where I was just like, but I can't wait for this to be out there, and I'm so excited to be making content and talking about books, and I can't wait to see where this channel brings me. And thank you so much for being here. If you made it to the end of the video, drop the brown heart emoji in the comments. That's the first one I could think of. And I will see you guys next time. Stay connected with me. If you want to follow me on my socials, I'll have them linked in the description box. Just like and subscribe. You know what to do. You know what to do here. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much for being here. I'd love to see you next time.